Hey Josh, how you doing? Good evening. I've actually been meaning to email you to ask you whether you want to wait for number 7 or if I should send the 2 pipes that are ready now. I should have really sent them before, but I figured I'll do pipe 7 and send them all together, but I should have really asked you, so you let me know. Hey WB. Kev. I see Chad's gone live now. So how you all been? How's your weekend been so far? I'm currently smoking my LCS, don't remember the number, probably around somewhere between 150 and 170. And I'm smoking some London Fog, although I've been smoking aromatics in this pipe, but I stuck some London Fog in. See how it goes. I keep forgetting, Josh, it is 6 now you've had, isn't it? Well, in any event, I think I'm going to do you a pipe which is synonymous with some of the pipes that I've done, but a shape that I don't think you've got yet. Cool, yeah, I thought so, Josh. Anyway, so as I was saying, I'll be doing something which is, I think, will be readily recognizable as an LCS pipe, but one that I don't think you have yet. How you doing, James? Hope you're well. Been working on this pipe. Hasn't quite worked out in terms of the shaping as well as I would like. But it's a proper sitter. Whoops. It's a sitter. Put a brass band on it. Brass band. But the shaping around the joint here is not ideal. And I can't do that much more with it because I'll start to hit the mortise. So in terms of shaping, I'll have to. It's not terrible or anything, but it's not as good as I would have liked. So that's going to be one that I'll either keep or sell as a seconds. I'll probably do a light stain on it. It's quite grainy as it is. I mean, it's got no stain on it as yet. So if I do anything, it'll be a pretty light stain, and maybe a black plateau for a change. I tend to do the plateaus pretty natural, but maybe I'll do a black one for a change. Yeah, I mean, you say it's pretty, but it's. I tend to look at pipes that I make very differently to how potential customers look at it. And I'm probably far too critical of my own work. But I think that's a good thing, because that's going to lead to increased, better quality pipes. And not to compromise, not to settle for less. And if I'm not happy, either I don't sell it, or at the very least, it's sold as a second at a reduced rate. I took delivery of a big 10-inch disc sander. Still haven't unpacked the box. Any time to do it. I won't be around tomorrow. My brother's daughter's engagement party. My niece. The current state of play with the motor, Jeff, is that it's currently with an electrician, but he's one of these contractors that are notoriously unreliable in terms of getting back to you. So on Thursday or Friday, he promised me just another 1 or 2 days. He's already had it for a week. Maybe another week, who knows? But I hope at the end of it, that to get a working motor, that would be really cool. Square shank pipe. Well, then I guess you'll be liking this one. That's my latest Northern Briars pipe. Haven't lit it yet, haven't set fire to it as yet. Panelled square shank. It's matching that one, the Lovat. And the next one, I had ordered a bent bulldog, but I've changed my mind. And seeing as he's not up to doing it yet, probably won't be doing it for a few weeks yet, I've actually changed it to one of his sea urchin pipes. And I've since then, hey Bill Moose, how you doing? I've since then seen another of his pipes on somebody's IG page, a beautiful straight diamond shank bulldog, saddle bit stem, and really tempted to get one of those. It looks great. I'm not a huge bulldog fan, but I'm not even sure that I've even got one at the moment. Have I considered putting first names on pipes? What, my own pipes? To give them a name, or for customers' names? Oh, the Ascorti square shank one. Yeah. This was a really reasonable eBay find. I don't recall how much I paid for it. putting customers' names on it. I don't really have the facility for doing it. I've got the single-digit letters, so I could potentially do it, but it would look quite messy. It'd be difficult to make sure that the letters are lined up well. I have thought about getting a laser engraver, so if I do that at some point, then for sure that would be possible. But at the moment, my efforts, well, not so much my efforts, but focus is on getting my website up and running. So at the moment, it's a fairly straightforward website with essentially two sections. One is available pipes and one is previous pipes, just the gallery. And there's a fair few pipes up on there already. And the site is actually live, but I haven't advertised it as yet. It's kind of just going through a setting up phase, so it's not all as I want it to be yet, but it's just there so that I can have a look at it whenever I want. Some good beginner tobaccos. Hey Jordan, how you doing? Have you smoked anything as yet so far, Hayden? Hey Jimmy. Initially there won't be ordering capability, just that each here, I'll give you a quick snapshot, exclusive. So that's the opening page. Nothing is cast in stone. This is really just playing around at the moment. So you've got previous pipes. London skyline. This is the pickaxe, you may recall. So these are all sold pipes. And the available pipes. I mean, they all say a reference number. There's no reference number on them now, and they all say £150. That's not the actual price. It's just so when you click on a pipe, you got a few different views of the pipe. And I think that each pipe will have a reference number, and then if you want to buy the pipe, all you do is you hit the contact us button. There you go. You put your name, email address and phone number and whatever you want to put in, and you put the pipe reference number in, type in any message that you want, and submit. I'll get an email and take it from there. That's how it's going to be to start with. So that's where we're up to on the website so far. Connoisseur's choice. I haven't smoked that myself, I don't think. What type of tobacco is it? Is that Peterson's? Any feedback on that, what you've seen so far on the website? Anyone? Good or bad? It's important for me to get constructive criticism as well. Hey John, I'm sure there are typos. As I say, it's a beginning. Yeah, that's a good idea. Just putting Union Jacks everywhere. Well, the front page has got Big Ben on it. Where are you based, Hayden? Ontario, Canada. Well, tobacco is going to be very expensive for you. $45. That's Canadian dollars, I guess. Here in the UK, a 50-gram tin is about £15. Online, maybe somewhere between 13 and £15. And for some reason, pipe tobacco like Navy rolls, that kind of thing, sometimes is £1 or so more. I guess because of the process of creating the rolls. But I don't know why that should create that extra expense. Peter Stockerby luxury bullseye flake, you buy it in bulk. It's. I don't think it's more expensive than other tobacco. I once did a giveaway a long time ago. One of my early giveaways. And it was won by a woman in Canada. The stress I had with that situation, I've got a feeling that the person who won it wasn't actually a pipe smoker and was just trawling for giveaways. It was just something about her that gave me that impression. May not have even been a woman, for all I know. I sent the package, and apparently it never arrived. So I offered to send her the value, and she was quite happy about that. But I said that she should give me the details of a local tobacconist, and I'll send them a credit. I just wanted to be sure that it was actually going to be used by a pipe smoker and not just money for whatever. And she never got back to me. But from what I hear from everybody in Canada, from all the pipe smokers that I've been in touch with over the years, in Canada, the customs are also pretty efficient there as well. So if you send stuff, oftentimes it will get caught. Well, Hayden, I think that's going to be a trend everywhere, here as well in the UK. I can't see it becoming easier. I think for now, in the short term, I think the US has dodged a bullet with the FDA, but I think it's only going to be temporary. And I don't think we've seen the full game play out when it comes to vaping. The world took it on so quickly, so universally, without any real long-term research. Hey Suffolk, how you doing? And you see so many people vaping indoors. Doesn't make a difference indoors or outdoors, but to me, the whole concept of breathing water into your lungs just doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't. I get that smoke is also very, very unhealthy to take into your lungs, but vaping essentially is water, it's steam. So I don't get that. Currently smoking one of my own pipes, and I'm smoking some London Fog. How about you? What are you smoking? I've been smoking 131, blend 131, which is a whiskey blend in this pipe pretty much all the time. And I just wanted to see, whether smoking a Virginia-based tobacco, what it would be like. And it's all right. I'm not really getting a major ghosting. Hey Joshua, haven't seen you for a while. I'm probably not going to make it a long one tonight because, as I say, I'm traveling tomorrow. But we shall see. What will happen to the tobacco industry in 50 years' time? Well, let's look at what's happened in the tobacco industry in the last 50 years and see what's changed. So in the last 50 years, hey Tony, in the last 50 years, they came out with the studies about cigarette smoking and how dangerous it is. Yes, there's certainly been a lot of change in terms of advertising, the tax that's on cigarettes, but not a lot has changed, and certainly a lot of people have stopped smoking with the realization of how unhealthy it is, cigarettes. But I think that if we would be able to travel back in time, 50 years or whenever it was that study first came out, I think it was in the 1950s or 60s, when they really, really sort of went to town on it and saying how unhealthy it is. If we could travel back in time and you'd ask the same question after that study had come out, I would have thought that people would have said in 50 years' time nobody will be smoking anymore. And I think when you ask the question today, I think the same thing applies really. It really depends, I guess, on how robust governments decide to get. 1964, okay. Thank you, Arthur. Good evening. Hayden, that's true the world over. Because people who don't smoke a pipe don't know anything about it. and they're not interested. For them, it's just smoking. I have this discussion with my wife very often, and as soon as I start talking about it, oh yeah, okay, fine, because well, like I say, Suffolk, go back 50 years after the Surgeon General's report, then, and when the world discovered, if you like, that it's so dangerous, we're 60 years hence, and people are still smoking. It's still not illegal. It's getting there. It's not far off. But I can't see it becoming illegal in the next couple of decades anyway. Beyond that, I don't know. They're just talking. Countries around the world are just starting to legalize the use of soft drugs, and most of that is taken through smoking, or a lot of it anyway. I don't know why. I don't know why it's seen so much more of a public enemy number one compared to, say, alcohol. I'm not sure what the statistics are and which kills more and which is more of a burden. Certainly don't see alcohol going out the window at all. But for some reason, I'm trying to think why people are so much more against it. I guess it's the smell. It's antisocial, some people will consider it. Maybe the association with fire, possibly, and the smoke. So I guess by making it illegal in public places, out of sight, out of mind. You did try the alcohol ban, you did. Spot on, Suffolk. The amount of historical, political debacles that have happened in the last few decades. Some of them are just, you look back at Yes Minister and you think that it's absolutely prophetic. Some of the situations and scenarios are so similar to real life. It's unbelievable. It's uncanny. "19? Are you having a son, or are you really 19? Yes, Minister is brilliant. I like using the perpendicular pronoun every so often. I watch through the two series every so often again. It's something you can just watch again and again. The timing is just unbeatable. I mean, that's what makes it, the timing. They just play so well together. The two lead characters, three actually, because I think that what's his name? I forget the names now, but the secretary, the middleman, I think he's in a way funnier than both of them, in a way, in certain respects. You started at 19. I started at 46. Bernard, yes. Is Chad still alive? I just rewatched Fawlty Towers. Hey Triton, all the Canadians are out tonight. Fawlty Towers, another brilliant English comedy, a classic. So it just went right through the two series. I usually put them on in the background while I'm working in the workshop. I have earphones on because I've got to block out the noise of the machines. Fawlty Towers is one of them, and Yes Minister. And there's a few that I've been through. I was trying to find Rising Damp. I do believe I've got them on DVD, but I thought I'd be able to find it online somewhere. But Hasty Smokes, Porridge, also another great one. He was hilarious. I can't remember the names at the moment. I'm just too tired. Absolutely fabulous. Yeah. Different genre, but yeah. I must be honest, I enjoyed watching it at the time when it came out. I don't enjoy it so much now. It's a bit stupid. I mean, that's the whole point of it, but yeah. Would have been bored with reuniting and arming the Commonwealth in order to once again dominate the globe? No. I don't think anybody should dominate anybody. I think we've got enough domination going on as it is. And they wouldn't be able to if they tried. Josh. To be honest, the British Empire has gone by the wayside like all the other empires throughout history. Yes, Prime Minister is also very good, yeah. I think that, yes, Prime Minister is very, very good, but I think that in some ways, I mean, put it this way, it's very rewarding to see him sort of take a higher position. But I think if you watched all three series and then look back at it, in some ways, it's more, how should I say this? It's more emotional, if you like, watching him struggle as a minister and being dominated by all the civil servants, getting in and out of scrapes. I actually found it probably a little bit better than the Yes Prime Minister. Yes Prime Minister was satisfying, but I think Yes Minister was better. Hey Daniel, how are you? That red pipe is still here for you, Daniel, if you want it. The Key was a great episode, yeah, he definitely got his upcomings. Watching him squirm and trying to get in through the window, that was funny. Sir Humphrey, that's right. For some reason, I don't have the red pipe to hand. I think it's downstairs. I took a few pipes to show my brother. He hadn't seen any of my pipes yet, so I just wanted to show him some of my work. And it's the first time he'd seen any of my pipes, and I think he was quite gobsmacked. Well, no, we were just talking about these pipes before. This is one of my Ascorti pipes. This is a Northern Briars Lovat, which I'm sure you've seen. This is the Northern Briars panel pipe, which I haven't smoked yet. And this is a pipe I'm currently working on. Thank you, Bull Moose. I don't make the actual stem material, obviously, but I've been lucky to find some nice stems. The ones that I got, which are sort of old stock, those greeny type ones, like a marbleized, those are really cool and unusual. Well, black stems sometimes are classic, you know, and sometimes certain pipes demand having a black stem. A good example is this billiard here, which I started smoking recently. I think, you know, a classic shape, a classic pipe looks the best with a black stem. There's just no two ways about it. It's one of my billiards. What shape did you get, Suffolk? Yeah, thank you, Bull Moose. Yeah, Cumberland would work as well. You know, Ebonite Cumberland, because that's also classic. Cheers, Davey. Thank you. What shape Northern Briars did you get, Suffolk? I was just saying earlier on, my next one in this series, that one and that one, they're a series, you can see the same sort of stem and band and finish, was going to be a bent bulldog, but I changed it to a sea urchin. A bent pipe group 5. Wow, that's quite a good size. Apple. Nice. Rock Scott. I must be honest, I've been very, very lucky with the Briar recently because I've done hardly any rusticated pipes. And sometimes I set out to create a pipe, a rusticated pipe. I think, fine, because some people prefer a rusticated pipe. And in some ways, for the same reason as I like a sandblasted pipe, is they're cooler to smoke generally. And but each time I do it, excuse me, the Briar just, you know, says to me, look at this grain. How can you rusticate this pipe? So I don't. I have done some wood inserts. I haven't done bamboo. No, I haven't done bamboo yet. Bamboo is another sort of rung on the ladder, if you like, because that has to be sort of heated and softened and straightened to get to the shape that you want. They're cooler to smoke because it's like a radiator effect. So we've spoken about this in the past. Take this one. This is a Chariton, nice, deep, craggy ring grain sandblast. Now, if you imagine that was smooth, so you've got that surface there. But when you've got ridges, you've actually got 3 times the surface, like that. It's going up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. So you've actually got maybe 3 times the amount of surface space, and the heat dissipates through that ridged effect. And the same with a rusticated pipe. So you can generally get a cooler pipe with a pipe which is either carved, rusticated, or sandblasted. Especially when they're new as well. Until you get a little bit of a cake built up, you know, smooth pipes can get really quite hot. Yes, Josh. Simon's gone a little bit wonky. He definitely does. They're both 9mm. This one, the Quebec here, is also 9mm, although it wasn't to start with, but I had him convert it a while back. This is a Canadian, speaking of Canadians, which he made for me. And he made that 9mm, and being a Canadian, it's harder because of the flattened shank, but still he managed. So you can see how thin it is at the top there, but he still managed. Actually, I'm going to leave that out. Maybe I'll smoke that one soon. And he'll also convert your pipes. If you've got pipes which you want to convert to 9mm, he'll do that. Oh, I've said this one many times, Daniel. The pipe that I would most like to convert is the Soren Refberg pipe. It's a gorgeous little apple. I smoked this a lot before I moved over to 9mm, and that's why I've never sold this pipe. I just love this pipe. It's seen good use. Light as a feather. It's got a lovely jade acrylic insert there, but it's just too narrow to convert. Well, Tony, that Castello should have been mine. He gave me first refusal on it, but it was too much money for me. You're talking about the natural one, the virgin one, unstained one? Is that the one you mean? It's easy to convert, but there has to be enough diameter. So in order to make a 9mm, you see that this tenon is for 9mm, okay? This is 10.2mm. It's actually 10.3 or 10.4mm, okay? So now if the diameter of the shank is roughly the same as that, you've got no room. There's just not enough there. And this pipe, you know, if you were really careful and very skilled, you possibly could do it, but with this acrylic on there, you see he's obviously had to shave down the briar to fit the ring on it. So if you drill that to 10.2, the briar's gone. There's no briar left. It's just too risky to do it on this pipe, much as I'd love to be able to do it. The actual diameter Hey Mike, how you doing? So the diameter on this pipe, yeah, 6mm could be. The diameter on this one is 14mm. I think the thinnest pipe that I've converted is 16mm. If you imagine 10.2mm, and then because the bit jiggles a bit, so let's say 10.3, 10.4mm, so you're talking about having 11, 3 and a bit millimeters left. Split that in half for either side. You're talking about less than 2mm on either side. It's just too risky. Yeah, I haven't actually tried 6mm. That's a good shout, to be honest, but I'd probably want to try it on a different pipe before I messed around ruining this pipe. I'm still hopeful that one day I'll be able to find some tobaccos or improve my smoking methods to be able to smoke without a filter. Speaking of which, actually, Mike at Briar Blues sent me an email today because I've experimented with larger draft drills. This one's got a 4.8 or a 5 mil drill, this one, so it's a lot wider. And he was just telling me that, you know, people who have been championing the whole sort of bigger draft diameter, like Rick Newcomb, they don't smoke with a filter, so the filter's obviously going to have an effect on that. And he suggested that I try and smoke it without a filter. I told him I would, so we'll see what happens. I'm a bit sadomasochistic like that because I tend to get tongue bite immediately when I start smoking non-filtered pipes. It's why I went over to 9mm. It is a nice pipe. I would still say, if somebody asked me, is there one pipe in my collection that I wouldn't want to lose, it's probably this pipe. It's a cheapy pipe. It was like 100 and something, 120, 110 dollars, maybe pounds rather. You can see it's had a fair bit of use, you know. I've polished it up since and put it away. Got a few dings on the top there, which happened when I lost it once. I've mentioned this before. It's I lost it in, I don't remember which castle grounds. We went on holidays and we were walking around the castle grounds and it just dropped. Don't know why it dropped, but it dropped. And it was a gravelly kind of ground. And as we were about to go home, I'm looking for the pipe, I can't find it. We all searched the grounds of the castle, a big, huge area. But I didn't give up, I just kept on searching. And eventually I found it by one of the council sort of houses or whatever. Sort of really pushed into the gravel. It was really chopped up a little bit, but it was okay. It wasn't too worse for wear, except for some things here. I polished out most of them, but you can imagine, Mike, how I felt when I found it, you know, not giving up and being rewarded with finding it. I don't remember how long I spent looking for it, but certainly it was a great feeling to find it. But I just can't bring myself to part with it, even though I don't smoke it. So maybe 6 minutes is the way to go on that. I mean, the tenon on this, I've already had to play around with this tenon in the days when I did smoke it, because the tenon became very loose in the shank. So I warmed it up and just spread, you know, mushroomed the top of it, and it now holds fine. I've since then learnt a new trick, which somebody mentioned on one of these lives. I don't remember who it was, maybe OCD Piper. And he said, run a bit of glue on the inside of the mortise and let it dry. That's what I did, and I did it on a different pipe, and it was absolutely spot on. Took a bit of super glue. I put a little knob of super glue on the end of a pipe cleaner and just went like that, and then left it overnight, because obviously I don't want any risk of the tenon getting stuck in there. I suppose there is some degree of risk if it heats up and somehow makes the glue tacky. There is that risk, I guess. But it seems to have worked a treat. I can't even remember which pipe it was now. That's how bad my brain is at the moment. So I'm still sitting on this Castello, which I got from GQ Tobaccos, which originally I was going to convert to 9mm, but the shank turns out it's too narrow to convert. Nice little pipe, but that's going to head back to him. That would have been my first Castello. You put glue on a tenon and then sand it down. Either way, I guess, yeah. Suffolk, if you're in the market for a Castello, he's got them at great prices. I've looked around, and I think actually that his prices are the best that I've seen in the world. Hey, Paul. I keep meaning to send you pictures. Am I getting the G4 sea urchin? I'm getting one to match this series. So it was going to be a bent bulldog, and I've just asked him to instead make it a sea urchin. So he'll make it to match this size, really. Obviously, the bowl itself is more of a ball shape, but the shank and the stem and all of that will match, hopefully. And as I said earlier, I saw a gorgeous straight-stemmed bulldog that he made recently, and I've saved a picture of it on my phone, and that probably will be next after the sea urchin. Although that was one of his premieres, the smooth ones. One thing I have been meaning to ask him, actually, is whether he uses the same briar for the sea rock and the in other words, the same. Obviously, the premiers are going to have a nicer grain, but whether he uses the same source of briar, maybe not the same grain on the briar, but the blocks from the same stock, so to speak. I'm just wondering whether he uses a different type of briar. Yeah, I saw the Pipe Nooks post earlier today. Yeah, it's a different beast, Eric. It's I've kind of got into a groove with that, and as I say, I only drill them for 9mm, and if somebody wants it to be non-filtered, then I glue in the adapter, and my adapters are absolutely spot on. I just sent out a batch of pipes to America for one of my customers, who bought something like 8 pipes from me, and I glued in the adapters on all of them, and you wouldn't know the difference. Hey, Boris. But you are restricted in terms of, as you say, Eric, in terms of how thin you can go on the shank. The thinnest I've gone, as I said, is 16mm, which is still pretty thin. Obviously, I'm never going to be able to do a pencil shank in 9mm. I'm not averse to doing non-filtered pipes. It's just the groove that I'm in, and I'm kind of sort of making it my thing. And there seems to be a market for it. And I think that market is increasing. I don't think I have, Daniel. I've smoked a 6mm pipe from Savinelli probably, but without intention for it to be a 6mm pipe. It was probably in the days before I went filtered. In fact, a lot of their 6mm pipes, the tenons are stepped, so you can actually drill out. I think Art made a video on this, Artie's place, and you can actually drill out the tenon and make it 9mm. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate that. I've just remembered, talking to you, Mike, I've still got your tobacco sitting on my desk. Completely forgot about it. It's buried under, I'm just looking at it now, it's buried under a bunch of stuff. I'm embarrassed to say that I completely forgot about it. I shall have to put it front and center here. Hey Jeff, how you doing? I sometimes like to think to myself that I've had something to do with a bit of a resurgence in 9mm, but I'm probably just illusions of grandeur. Well, 9mm calabash. I have one right here. Well, I say right here. I have it right somewhere. Somebody was talking before about those stems. This is I used it on this barling, which Tree sent me. Very, very interesting stems, these. Very unusual. It looks like it's like got sand inside it or something. North Country Fisher. I'm still not 100% sure when these barlings are from, whether they're transition or pre-transition. I think they're transition, but I'm not sure. Wow, it increases tongue bite for you. That doesn't make any sense to me, Eric. But yeah, if you're used to no filters, then I think you're lucky. You know, you've got access to so many pipes in all ranges. That's the main reason why I went with 9mm when I started making pipes, is because you know, when I converted over to smoking 9mm pipes, I found that the pickings were quite slim. Trying to find a nice. Good night, Suffolk. Thanks very much. I'm gonna be going to bed soon as well. I've got to catch a train in the morning. Yeah, so I've. Where is that calabash? Am I going mad? Oh. Yeah, so this is my Phil Rivara calabash. A beautiful pipe. Proper calabash. I sent it back to him recently to convert to 9mm. He said he had an absolute nightmare doing it, but he managed it. So we have a 9mm tenon on there, but there's no real reason for it to be any harder, unless you're talking about reverse calabash. Maybe you were talking about reverse calabash. A reverse calabash I can see being a problem. Oh, I see what you mean, Eric. Well, what pipes do I have for sale at the moment? Oh, there's quite a few. Let me just get this out of the way. But I hear what you're saying, Eric, and for me, all I do is I adjust how I pack the bowl so it's looser. And that's one of the reasons why I'm also experimenting with wider drafts. Hey, Captain Clench. Yeah, I mean, listen, everybody does what they prefer. There's no right or wrong about it. You know, you do what works for you. I'll run through some of the pipes quickly. I don't want to turn this into a for sale video. That's a recent one. A nice little apple. This is the joint effort with me and Northern Briars. Put a horn extension on that. So my effort is up until that joint there, and the rest is Northern Briars. Nice piece of briar, really nice grain. Quite a few of these will be appearing on Northern Briars website soon. This pipe is pipe 120 with a scalloping on the shank. Really nice staining and grain on this pipe as well. Gorgeous grain. That was pipe 120, that was. Here's another one. Beautiful Dublin. Really classy pipe, this one, if I say so myself. Pipe 138. Really nice pipe, that. No, not Northern Briars. Northern Briars' website is only his own stuff. It'll be on GQ Tobaccos. Pipe 164, a little forward canted goblet, I suppose you'd call it, with a faded stain. Really nice grain there. This is a pipe I'm actually tempted to keep. This is my tribute to Pierre Morel, a French pipe maker who does some beautiful flower-shaped pipes. That's pipe 129. Freehand plateau with button polish on the top there. Give it that golden sort of colouring. And this one, actually, I'm surprised hasn't gone. It's a gorgeous volcano with a square shank. Look at that grain on the rim as well. And the base is a mix of plateau and gorgeous bird's eye. Nice grain on the sides there as well. So there's quite a selection here. Ooh, this one's sitting here as well. A nice little Rhodesian. A virgin Rhodesian, no stain. And a little ring on the top as well, and 2 rings on the side. And I'm pleased to tell you that my website is actually live. It's still in the middle of being made, so not everything is as it should be, but it gives you an idea of how it's going to look. So if you want to have a look, it's lcsbriars.com. It is actually live. Yeah, anyway, so that's some of the pipes. You've seen some of these before anyway. It's kind of a strawberry kind of thing, plateau on the top. Very nice grain. That's a lovely pipe. A nice sort of Lovat type shank and stem. It's I guess you'd call this a strawberry kind of shape. or Acorn, that kind of thing. Right, time to. They're all 9mm, every single one of them. But like I say, they can all be smoked with or without the filter. Cheers, Eric. Yeah, there are. I'll show you again. I showed it before. So that's the opening page of the website. And you've got previous pipes. So all of these have been sold. Good one, Josh. So down, somebody was asking before about wood extensions, so you can see on this one, wood extensions, that's palm wood. Very nice. And then you've got another page of available pipes. So you've seen these. You can't click and literally buy it. You can click. I still haven't got the reference numbers on, and the prices show here all 150, which they're not. So as I say, this is all just samples. I've left it live just so that I can keep an eye on it and see how it looks. But I'm not publicising it, and I'm just telling you guys about it. But it's lcsbryce.com. Simple, straightforward. And essentially, initially, lcsbryce.com, you should be able to find that. I'm just searching it in, I'm just typing it in. Don't put it in Google, just LCS Bryce, because it's probably not listed yet, but just type in lcsbryce.com. Type in the address. lcsbryce.com. It won't come out on the search engine as yet, but the site is there for sure. So essentially, at the moment, once it goes properly live, once I publicise it, you hit the contact page, you put in the pipe reference number and your details, and I'll get the message that you want it, and we take it from there by email. It's a start, I'm not going merchandising straight away. I will have that facility, but I'm not going to do that straight away. So I know that there's errors on there and there's typos and stuff like that, but which one is that, Mike? The strawberry one. And the logo, I don't think is the final one either. As I say, it's just an idea. Just relight. Yeah, I got I got a few messages from people, and I actually saw it on Facebook from CND's page that they're releasing on the 29th. And I'm hoping some people will get me a tin or two. Um, One good friend is hopefully going to get me some, but it would be nice to be able to get a few tins of it. I really do enjoy it. I've only ever had this one tin, and I'm kind of smoking it really slowly now, but I'm almost through that tin. I'm sure it will go quicker. It's a really good blend. If it's anything like this original, I, I don't know. I've found that some of their small batches haven't always matched. Have you found that as well? I know you've had quite a few of their small batches, Mike. Yeah, Daniel. I probably will have to do something to generate interest in the launch. Yeah. I won't be able to sell tobacco now on the website. I haven't got a license for it, so I wouldn't be able to do that. Anything we do between us on the YTPC is one thing, but when you're going live on the website, you can't do anything dodgy. I mean, you shouldn't do anything dodgy at any time, I suppose, but friends exchanging parcels is fine, but selling is a problem. I'll trade London Fog for Sunbear. If anybody gets Sunbear, I'll trade some. I don't mind making some up. I haven't got a huge amount of Virginia Woods left, but I don't mind making some up. So if anybody nabs a few tins of that, I'd be happy to do a trade. It is variable, and I guess that's why we saw the Christmas cheers each year being slightly different vintages. And interestingly, I've actually seen differences in the same year, but from tin to tin. A good example is the 40th anniversary. I've smoked a heck of a lot of that stuff, and so far, each tin I've opened has been different. The same DNA, but different. The first tin I had ever was the best, without a doubt, and not just because it was the novelty. It was just fantastic tobacco, rich. Even though it was young, it had only just come out, it was beautiful to smoke. The second tin I found so bland by comparison. It wasn't bland, but by comparison to that first tin, it was bland. Mike, you got to start smoking it. That's a realization I've come to. You need to enjoy the tobaccos. That's a good question, Daniel. I've had that question before, say by comparing pouch tobacco to tin tobacco. But bulk tobacco, let me think. The only bulk tobacco that I can really say that I'm familiar with is Northwoods. In the old days, I would say that I was familiar with No Bite Delight and that kind of stuff, but it's all Boswell's tobaccos, and although they do sell it in tins, it's not quite the same thing as what you're asking, I don't think, because it's all their own tobacco, same recipe. I don't think they do anything different for the tobaccos that they sell in a tin. They tin it out themselves. It's not the same thing as what you're asking. You're asking, some tobacco makers, they'll add stuff to stuff that goes in a pouch or in a tin, to humescence and things like that, to give it longevity as a preservative. So I can't really answer the question. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't had that experience, so I can't answer it. Well, give me an example. The only bulks that I've seen in the past that are tinned is stuff like Dunhill Nightcap and that kind of thing, which I have seen big bags of, pound bags, in the past, not anymore. And some of the McBaron stuff, like Vintage Syrian and quite a few of their lines, you could get pound bags. I never did, so I can't really answer that question. But nowadays, yeah, so I suppose McBaron and stuff like that, you'd be able to do that test. But I don't have the experience, so I can't answer it. I think I'm probably going to make a couple of larger pipes as well in the near future. I got a few really quite big blocks recently. And I've got to unpack that disc sander that I received this week. But I haven't got room to swing a cat at the moment in my garage. So I'm not really sure where I'm going to put it. Possibly, Daniel. I mean, I still have a few blocks of mortar, but I've been pretty discouraged based on the last couple that I made. One of which was returned to me completely burnt to a cinder. I managed to repair it, and I sent a replacement mortar pipe to that customer together with his pipe repaired. And as far as I know, they're smoking fine now. But that is a risk. Jason Mouton said the same thing. He said he's never gonna make another pipe with a mortar bowl. He said he might make, and he has made since, a calabash pipe with a briar insert, so the outside is mortar. But he said he would never make a mortar bowl again, is what he said. A bowl coating is what I did in those two pipes that I sent back to that customer. I did put a really heavy bowl coating in the one that was damaged, and then I put a bowl coating in the new one so to protect it from getting damaged. Vulcan Latakia blend. It depends if you like it heavier or lighter. If you like it light, and if you can get hold of it, I would say Special Latakia flake. It's an absolutely delightful, refined, aromatic, if you like, but not in that sense. There's no flavourings in it, but a very, very flavourful, aromatic Balkan blend is. You have to be careful how you pack it. That's all, how you load it, so that you don't crumble all the Latakia. But of course, you can try the 1820 flake. The 1820 flake is a similar tobacco to Penzance. So that's pretty readily available nowadays. Notwithstanding the shortages of some of the blends due to COVID-19. Oh, plenty of people smoke olive wood pipes. I've never made an olive wood pipe yet. I've had a Moretti mortar. I sold it in one of my sales. I never really got into it. I mean, I smoked it a few times. It was actually quite a heavy pipe. That's the thing with mortar, is that you just don't know what you're going to get. Sometimes you get a really light piece of mortar, and sometimes it's very, very dense. The dense ones will last. You don't have such a problem with them, but they're heavy. And the light ones, they're the opposite of dense, and those ones tend to turn to ash. That's interesting, Voodoo. Have you got any of those pipes that your grandfather made? That's nice, Voodoo. That's a nice way to connect. 52 grams is good. That's not bad at all. You'll probably be seeing a video very shortly of one of my larger pipes that I sent out recently. In the next couple of days you should see a video from a fairly well-known English YTPC member. He bought the very large Dublin that I made recently, the unstained Dublin, and so he says he's going to do a video probably tomorrow night, so we'll see how that goes. Walter Cronkite to smoke after the evening news. Cool. Wow, $1.50. That's going back a bit. I don't know if there are system pipes with a 9mm filter. I don't know. I mean, there's plenty of Peterson 9mm pipes, but I have two. I bought this one on eBay a while back. I refurbished it and it came out stunning. I've yet to smoke it. It says on it X90 Donegal filter X90. Quite a large pipe, but not too heavy. And I've yet to decide what I'm doing with it. And the other one is the Peterson pipe I bought specifically for the slow smoke competition at the Pipe Club of London. Here it is. Excuse me. So that's a fishtail. It's got some nice grain, and it served me well on the day I came third in the contest, and I actually won a Peterson pipe, which has never gotten smoke. It's a Church Warden, which sits on the shelf above my desk. Check out that Church Warden. That is a long Church Warden. Silver spigot and a green, nice St. Paddy's Day pipe, I guess. Silver spigot, actually well drilled for a change for a Peterson pipe. No, I can't convert this. It's much too thin. Even with a stem that long, it probably weighs something like 30 grams or maybe something like that. Came with some extra long pipe cleaners. That's a good question, Daniel. It did occur to me that it was worth trying because of the length of that stem, but I've so far not tried it. And I have said to Mike that I will try smoking this one without a filter because of the larger diameter. He said the result might surprise me, so not sure when I'll do that. Anyhow, I think that's it from me tonight. A system pipe with a very small bowl. Alright, I'm not familiar with system pipes. And I know what they are, but I don't think I've ever had one myself. The whole idea of it, you know, collecting all that reservoir, collecting all that junk. I mean, I get the purpose of it, but it sounds a bit rank to me, to be honest. Anywho, thank you everybody. Thank you very much, Captain Clench. Thank you, Triton. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Voodoo. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, North Country Fisher. Jordan. WV Jeff. Thank you very much, North Country Fisher. Boss Hug. And Mike Gamecock Piper. Bull Moose. And Jeff Crosby's Corner. Jeff, if you're interested in that pipe, or Mike, either of you, if you're interested in that strawberry pipe, lcsbriars@gmail.com. We'll work something out for sure. Jimmy, if you're still there, thank you very much. Wishing you all a wonderful weekend. And I will catch you on the next one.